except where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
I thought I'd have some fun with the whole, can a man beat a gorilla thing or 100 people against a gorilla? And I saw some martial artists that I hope they're trolling that actually think that they could beat a gorilla. Well, I decided to have some fun with that. So I just went ahead and asked AI. Now, let me just give people the caveat about AI answers. So far, whenever I've dealt with AI, it's been 99% accurate. There's still a little bit here and there with AI. So I'd say right now, AI is mostly right. And on this point, I pretty much agree with AI. But let's have some fun. So, would Taekwondo be effective against a gorilla? One of my styles. In a direct physical confrontation, Taekwondo or any martial art would likely be ineffective against a full grown gorilla. Gorillas possess immense strength, speed, and natural weapons, teeth, claws, powerful limbs, that human martial artists simply cannot match. Here's why a gorilla would be a formidable opponent from a Taekwondo practitioner. For a Taekwondo practitioner. Gorillas are several times stronger than people and can lift tremendous weight. Their bite force is incredibly strong, and their punches are believed to generate significant force. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Physical advantages, thicker and denser bones. This is really the thing, I think. The thicker bones and dense muscle mass compared to humans, your strikes will probably do nothing. Instinctual fighting, gorillas fight instinctively and will use all their strength and power without restraint. They don't have the same limitations and concerns about rules that human fighters do. They're just going to go ape, pun intended. Different targets. Martial arts techniques are designed for human physiology, targeting specific weak points. A gorilla's body structure is different, making many traditional martial arts strikes less effective. Natural weapons. Gorillas possess sharp canines and strong hands capable of tearing and crushing. Like they probably just snatch your leg up while you're trying to kick you or ragdoll you and just fling you off into the wild. Natural weapons. Gorillas. All right, went over that. In a hypothetical scenario, the gorilla's brute force, natural defenses, and instinctive fighting skills would likely overwhelm a human regardless of martial arts skill. And here's some advice. Remain calm, avoid eye contact, and back away slowly if you do run into a gorilla. So I said, well, what about judo? That's one of the styles I've studied. AI must have been like, what's wrong with this fool? Just like with Taekwondo, judo will be highly ineffective against a full-grown gorilla in a direct physical confrontation. Gorillas are simply too strong, too fast, and possess natural weapons that a human being, even a skilled judoka, cannot overcome. So, again, we're talking about the superior strength, making throws and takedowns nearly impossible to execute. The muscle mass and skeletal structure are designed for incredible power, exceeding even the strongest human's capabilities. Different anatomy. Judo techniques are developed based on human anatomy. A gorilla is built differently, making the leverage points of techniques used in judo less effective. Raw power over technique. While judo emphasizes using an opponent's strength against them, a gorilla's raw power would likely overwhelm any human attempt to redirect their force. And again, they go back with natural weapons. They're talking about the teeth and the hand that'll just rip you to shreds. So, a gorilla's superior strength and natural fighting ability will most likely be a devastating opponent for even a judoka. I see Hapkido down here. That's one of my styles. But we're going to talk about that too. Would Hapkido be effective against a gorilla? No. No. Just like any other martial arts, Hapkido is going to be ineffective because it's built for humans. Grappling, joint locking, and throwing techniques are difficult to impossible to execute. It's going to overwhelm any type of strength that you have. Hapkido techniques are designed for human anatomy, so the leveraging points are different. Again, raw power over technique. A gorilla's raw power will probably overwhelm any human attempt to redirect their force. Again, with the natural weapons, powerful jaws, sharp canines, and strong hands, Aikido techniques are not designed for you to defend yourself against that. Gorillas' resistance. Gorillas are extremely durable with thick skin and dense muscles. They are accustomed to intense physical confrontations with other gorillas, making them incredibly difficult to injure without weapons. And as I was told a long time ago, that's why we have weapons in martial arts. You should be using your weapons if you're fighting against an animal, and in your martial arts, empty hand techniques if you're fighting against a person. Even though I have fought off a dog, yes, like a one dog, not even like a wolf or something, one dog, and it wasn't even that big. And actually, I fought off dogs on different occasions. But once unarmed. Once I had a stick. And stick dog, the dog I hit with the stick, I didn't really try to hurt it, but it was in shock. That dog was like, I didn't hurt it though. I just used the stick to deter it, and it got the message. So, not Hapkido. So, let's go into another thing I studied that I don't have rank in, but I did an amateur match. Would Western boxing work against a gorilla? I think you know where this is going to go. No. Western boxing will be completely ineffective against a full-grown gorilla in a fight. Strength. Punching limitations. Because the gorilla's skull is so thick, a boxer's punch will likely cause little to no damage. It could even injure the boxer's hand. Natural weapons of the gorilla. The bites, jaws, the teeth, the hands are just too much for a person, even a boxer. Anatomical differences. Again, because our martial arts are made for fighting other people, gorilla, no. You're not gonna get up there and rope a dope a gorilla. I don't know, maybe you could bob and weave if it's not really trying to hurt you. And it's fighting instinct. So, in short, a gorilla's sheer physical power, natural defenses, and instinctive strength would render a boxer useless in a confrontation. So you know me, I decided, let's see about pressure points. Maybe there's a pressure points that we could use on a gorilla. No, Kyusho Jitsu, like other martial arts, will be highly effective against a full-grown gorilla in a direct physical confrontation. The pressure points are designed to disrupt nerve pathways, causing pain and motor compliance. These points are based on human anatomy again, and gorilla anatomy is different, so their nerve pathways may not respond the same as a person. Their strength. Even if a pressure point could be located and stimulated on a gorilla, their immense strength and resilience will likely allow them to power through the pain or disruption. That's why whenever they go after the gorilla, they just trank them. They trank them. They don't do that. Gorillas have thick skin and dense muscles that further reduces the effectiveness of techniques that rely on targeting surface pressure points. And people can build that up to a degree too if they're so strong. It can nullify one pressure point, but it should weaken it in another area. And we got to talk about their natural weapons, their jaws, and their teeth. So again, their physical advantages, you're not going to demock a gorilla unless you were just the best of 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 the best. And I just wouldn't risk it if I was you. Now, I decided not to stop there. Would no touch be effective against a gorilla? No. No touch knockouts would not be effective against a gorilla, against any opponent for that matter, including humans. Now, this is where I disagree with AI. Not about the gorilla. Okay. No, AI and I see eye to eye on no touch on a gorilla. But on people, I've seen it work, and there are I don't want to give it away. Why the very narrow parameters where yeah, I've seen no touch work on a person where I know it could. Very narrow parameters, but yeah. So they're saying there's a lack of scientific basis for no touch working. There actually, if you look at some of the video, if you take the time to actually go through some of the video libraries where they're doing the no touch and stuff, that's not true. Even if you look at some of the stuff that's debunking no touch, they didn't say that it didn't necessarily work. They couldn't measure it with the instruments that they have. And demonstrations are not faked. That's not true. Even if you look at the National Geographic thing, they just couldn't. They said that they couldn't measure what was going on, but something was happening. But this is where I do agree with AI. Gorillas are extremely strong and durable. It says even if no touch were a real phenomenon. I mean, it is, but the immense strength and durability of a gorilla would likely result in any attempted technique ineffective. Gorillas are built to withstand considerable physical force and are not easily incapacitated. You know, there is a such thing as somebody just literally being, if we go back to humans, there is a such thing, I'll probably get some hate for saying this. Somebody can, yeah, just be kind of like too strong for something like a no touch to work. I mean, that is a thing. That's why you have other stuff. And you know, that's actually why people came up with weapons. It was trying to nullify somebody else's strength when you don't have it. But anyway. So, against a powerful and resilient like animal like a gorilla, they will be utterly useless. And the internet, I will say, let me say the best for last. The internet does consider no touch to be a fraudulent practice. I don't. But the internet does. And with that being said, I don't require no touch of my students. So you can get a black belt. You can get the upper levels of black belt with me. And you go look at my curriculum on my .org site. You're not required to do no touch for any ranks. Just because I look at it doesn't mean I require that of you, because I know a lot of people don't want to go that route, and that's fine. Now, I decided to make it personal. Would Cecil Ryu martial arts work against a gorilla? Would my style work against a gorilla? No. Just like with other martial arts, Cecil Ryu martial arts would not be effective against a full-grown gorilla in a physical fight. Cecil Ryu is a blended martial arts style that combines Taekwondo with Judo and incorporates elements of Kyushu Jitsu and Western boxing. And it's for all the same reasons. That's because we got striking, grappling, and joint locks and throws, and that stuff is designed for a person. A gorilla can weigh up to 400 pounds and has a muscle mass 8 times as dense as a human. So it's going to be really hard to try to penetrate that gorilla skin, that gorilla muscle mass. And the different anatomy is going to work against any type of joint locks, not to mention that they have powerful hands and teeth. And like I said, it's here, martial arts, including Cecil Ryu, are developed for fighting humans. They do not take into account the unique physical capabilities and of behaviors of wild animals like gorillas. So, AI even says that my stuff wouldn't work against a gorilla. So if you expect me to teach you how to beat a gorilla, I'm sorry. I can't do it. Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with people like to talk about the martial arts and peace. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And leave gorillas alone. Peace.